What's good, YouTube? Ferdo Kings coming back at you again with another YouTube video. Tonight, we're going to be focusing on EA Sports College Football 25. This is going to be the top 10 defenses on the game. Probably break down the remaining teams, also do the top 25. But let's get right into it. At number one is the Ohio State Buckeyes. They've added some players from the transfer portal and Caleb Downs at safety. They're going to have one of the best secondaries in the game, bar none. I know at corner they have Denzel Burke. I personally know his uncle, worked with him for years, so I've been following his career. He's balled out his freshman year. He was all Big Ten, so they're going to be really solid from the D line to the second level at linebacker all the way to the secondary. So, you know, there's not a weakness in that Ohio State defense. Same thing can be said for number two, Georgia. I know that they do have some question marks at linebacker and maybe even in the secondary, but you know, at Georgia, they don't rebuild, they reload. There's guys waiting in the wings, ready to sit there and get reps. I mean, they're getting mental reps when they're not playing. So Georgia's going to be very solid. They're going to play fast in the SEC. They do have a daunting schedule, though. I mean, they've got some big names on their schedule this year, so it'll be fun to sit there and watch them. At number three is going to be the Oregon Ducks, jumping from the Pac-12 over to the Big Ten this year. The game in Eugene on October 12th, have that game circled. That's going to be probably to decide the Big Ten title when Oregon plays Ohio State. You know, they're going to be playing a different level of competition for sure, but they've been building. That program has stayed consistent, and now they're at a level where they can play with anyone on any given day. So that's going to be fun and entertaining to watch. At number four is Alabama. Now, the Nick Saban era is over, but the cupboard's not clean. You know, it's not empty, that's for sure. I mean, Alabama's going to have players. They're going to put some of the best talent on the field. Half the roster on defense will end up going to NFL. They always do. It'll be fun to see how they progress throughout the year and what the focus is on defense. But there's a ton of talent up and down the Alabama roster. At number five is the Clemson Tigers. We know that on one of the earlier builds in the game, Clemson had like a 97 or 98 overall defense. In the final version, at least to start, they're going to end up with a 90 overall defense. Clemson's also number 6 overall. So they'll be a team. They play great defense for sure. If they can get anything out of their offense, man, they're going to be a dangerous team this year. At number 6 is Notre Dame. They're going to be another team. They're fundamentally sound on defense. It'll be entertaining to see what they do offensively. I know the University of Louisville, we go to South Bend to play Notre Dame this year. We beat them here in Louisville at Cardinal Stadium last season. We're going to go up there and we'll challenge their secondary. They've got some really talented players, but you know, that's going to be a game that's going to go a long way in determining Louisville season. I'll probably go up to South Bend on September 28th to sit down and watch that game. But Notre Dame at number 6 on top defenses. At number 7 is defending national champion Michigan. Now, they didn't get the love overall in the standings. I mean, they're number 11 overall. Defensively, though, they're number 7. So, you know, Harbaugh's gone. There's a new era also in Michigan. Be interesting to see how that shakes out now with under the new leadership. But Sherrone Moore and some of those guys that's on that staff, they do a phenomenal job, and I'm sure there won't be much loss on the defensive side of the ball anyway. At number 8 is Texas. Bunch of talent in Texas. They've done a great job of building that, keeping those kids at home. So Texas number 8 on defense. Number 9 is Penn State. Big physical team on defense. It'd be interesting to see what they can do offensively, but their defense is going to go out and ball out for sure. Number 10 might be a surprise to a lot of people, but you know, Utah plays a brand of football, and it's not just offensive minded. They go out and they fly to the ball on defense. They got a wealth of talent. They recruit great in the state of California, so they have a lot of great skill players in the secondary and linebacker at the second level. And we know what Utah does on the defensive line. They get those guys in there, man, 3 techniques and knows that can move people around, and they don't get moved. So, you know, they're solid on the D-line for sure. It'll be really, really fun. And you see I've got my Utah swag on. They're top 10 team overall. Their offense is rated very highly. Defense is number 10. I'm seriously considering using them in our dynasty, just because they're going to have California's recruiting base, and it's going to be wide open in that Big 12. So it's going to be fun. So I am really thinking hard about Utah. It's just going to depend on how my draft shakes out, where the pieces may fall. I'm not passing up the Ohio State Buckeyes. I'm not passing up Georgia. But, man, you get down there and you start looking and you're lower in that draft, I might roll with Utah. I mean, I think I could have fun in Dynasty with them, for real. So, anyway, let's move on. Let's hit the rest of the teams in the top 25. At number 11 is the Florida State Seminoles. Last year, everyone knows, they went undefeated. They were 13-0 after they beat the University of Louisville in the ACC championship game, and then they were snubbed because of the Jordan Travis injury, and prevented them from playing in the college football playoffs. And then, of course, 25-plus players opted out, didn't play in the bowl game versus Georgia. But they've reloaded. They hit the transfer portal hard. They're ready to go back out and show that they were not last year what wasn't something that doesn't happen very often. They're here to stay, so they're there for the long term. We'll see how it shakes out, but we know they sit there and breed a ton of talent in the state of Florida. They don't have to leave the state. They've got players in their backyard, and they do a great job of getting those guys. Last year wasn't a fluke for Florida State. Number 12 is going to be Oklahoma, jumping from the Big 12 over to the SEC. We see how all that will translate. Playing a different brand of football, playing some different teams in the SEC. But, they've always been solid defensively. Let's see how it shakes out. 13 is Iowa. God dog it, man. I think they bring back everyone. I mean, they might have some guys on defense 27 years old. Iowa's going to be legit on defense for sure in the Big Ten. So we'll see how all that, plays out this year on the virtual gridiron. But Iowa's highly ranked, and they've got some players. 14 is going to be Virginia Tech. At 15 is Wisconsin. I'm curious with this one. At 16 is USC. I know they hired a new defensive coordinator. USC last year cannot stop a nosebleed. How in the heck that they are rated this high defensively, I haven't a clue. I know they've got a wealth of talent. Maybe they can sit there and mesh and put some of those pieces together and stop somebody, but they couldn't stop anyone in the Pac-12, and now they're jumping to the Big Ten, playing better teams, and their defense is going to get better. I don't see it, but hey, let's go Trojans. 17 is the Auburn Tigers. At 18 is LSU. With their vaunted history defensively, I know Brian Kelly's now in charge. It's surprising to see LSU at 18, that low in the rankings, but they made the top 25. At 19 is Texas A&M. You combine Texas A&M at 19 with the fact they're a top 25 overall team and they have the number one home field advantage. Texas A&M is a very, very interesting team to play in Dynasty. And I say that because you've got a great recruiting base in the state of Texas. Combine that with the fertile recruiting base, with the fact that you're playing the SEC, you have the number one home field advantage, and you have a top 20 roster talent-wise. They could be a team that not a lot of people will think of, and people are going to surprise the people they're playing with in dynasties. Texas A&M could be one of them teams that really turn it around really quick and become a powerhouse this season in dynasty mode. Number 20 is Colorado. Another team I thought, really couldn't stop anyone last year. I mean, Travis Hunter was down for a couple games with injury. Travis Hunter might be a 99 overall. He could probably maybe be the only guy who's 99 overall on defense. One of the cover athletes. Great two-way player, plays cornerback, also plays some wide receiver. Deion Sanders' son Shiloh is the starting safety. I mean, he can cover the middle of the field. He don't have his dad's speed, but he can knock you out cold in a second. I mean, he is a heavy hitter for sure. So they do got 2 guys on defense. They're going to fill some of the other gaps, though. So we'll see how it shakes out. But right now, EA's got them at number 20. Curious, but whatever. 21 is Oklahoma State. They're in that wide open Big 12. We'll see how that all plays out this year. 22, my University of Louisville Cardinals. We've got a ton of talent. We were a top 15 defense last year in the country. We bring a ton of pressure. We've been doing it now for 2 years after Satterfield left. I mean, we couldn't stop a nosebleed 2 years ago, and we just started blitzing everyone, and it's carried over. I do know that we will have the University of Louisville will have one of the best defensive ends in football, first-team All-American Ashton Gelati. This kid has a motor that just does not stop. He's one of the 5 Heisman hopefuls that you can select. So, you know, we do have some pieces. University of Louisville does have some pieces on defense. 23, another ACC team, North Carolina. At 24 is one of the Big 12 teams, Kansas State. And at 25, kind of curious, but Florida does have a lot of talent. They do crack the top 25 on the defensive power rankings. So congratulations to the Gators. We'll see how all that plays with your schedule in the SEC. So anyway, that's a quick breakdown of the top 25. If you guys would like, go down in the comments and let me know how you feel about these top 25 teams. If I'm off, if you think some teams should be higher or lower. Also, make sure that you guys hit like and subscribe. I've already hinted at the fact next week's going to be the Dynasty Deep Dive, so make sure you come back here to Fairdale Kings YouTube channel, and we'll be breaking down some more information as it becomes available. Fairdale Kings, and I'm out.